Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Here at Fields and Brown Barbershop, legacy means a lot. We're trying to fill big shoes left by my two uncles and my grandfather, where every haircut came with conversation and every customer left a little taller than when they walked in. The barbershop is about pride. It's about knowing your barber knows your name and your story. Come see us at Fields and Brown Barbershop, where tradition never goes out of style. 3 generations, 1 legacy, your barbershop.
Arctic Air keeps your home or business comfortable. For more than 20 years, we've provided outstanding residential and commercial services through Southern Middle Tennessee. Whether you need assistance with your heat, air conditioning, preventive maintenance, or anything in between, trust our reliable team to get the job done. We'll take the time to figure out your specific needs and recommend what we believe is right and best for your situation.
We've been using Arctic Air for over 15 years now. Their service is great, they're here when we need them, and their prices are competitive. They take the worry out of the heat and air so I don't have to.
Arctic Air. When you need us, we'll be there.
Financial advisor Scott Beasley knows time spent with family is everything. As a founder of Beasley Wealth Management, his mission is to give clients the freedom to enjoy time with family without the burden of financial concerns. A local of Lawrenceburg, Scott deeply values building relationships with clients, ensuring they make informed decisions concerning asset management, tax planning, and retirement planning. Offering a free initial consultation, Beasley Wealth Management helps clients pursue their aspirations with confidence. A local law firm respected throughout the state. Generations of clients have turned to Boston, Holt, and Durham since 1948. We assist individuals and businesses with their legal needs, including real estate, property closings, personal injury, employment discrimination, and family law. Our clients get the personal attention and convenience of a hometown law firm with the resources and ability to handle any case. Come see us at Boston, Holt, and Durham.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Builtwell Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Builtwell Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Builtwell banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Builtwell Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome everybody here to X Sports Today. AJ Gobble, Bryant, Gobble, and Taylor Plott. And guys, what a busy weekend we had in the world of sports. A lot of upsets, a lot of action-packed things, some come from behind wins. It's almost like, I was at one of these upset games, so I was kind of shuttered from the world a little bit. But man, it was probably, you guys were flipping around a lot on Saturday.
Well, actually, no, not really. Thanks to YouTube TV, I was kind of stuck with my one spot. So, unfortunately, with like the sports equinox that happened at the end of October, ESPN decides to cut. I'm blaming it all on ESPN. I guess we can get in that conversation later. But either way, my watching ability was limited because I had to sign up for a free trial to Fubo. I didn't know how to work all of it. I couldn't do my quad box, but I tried my best, right? Yeah. I watched the baseball, watched some basketball, watched some football. It was a good weekend.
Yeah, we have Hulu, so thankfully I was actually able to watch games, but without going on a complete rant, because I definitely want to go on a rant with you with ESPN, that, don't get me started on that. That's I I get the money aspect, but good grief, can we not agree on something that is...
And why do all these contracts end during football
That's
season?
the thing. It's the peak sports season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like with it was Spectrum a couple years ago that had to come to a last second decision. YouTube TV this year. We already had the Disney, Hulu, ESPN bundle.
Right.
But it was only ESPN in certain areas, so I had to pay the $10 a month upgrade to get everything else. But someone's kind of timed it out, or kind of priced it out. If you get all the streaming apps that have all the main live channels, you can dump YouTube TV and save like $20 a month.
You can.
Really?
Yep.
So, yeah.
Interesting.
You can.
Yeah, I need to find whoever tweeted or Facebooked that. But let's get into Game 7 of the World Series, guys. What a game. I was locked in most of the time while I was in Neyland Stadium, at least keeping, for some reason, actually had decent service. I never have decent service inside there, but I had decent service, was keeping up with it, and got to watch the final 3 innings, landlocked in the worst traffic ever. Whoever designed the Knoxville traffic post-game day.
It's bad.
You're so crammed in over there.
But like, it was the previous game, the road that we went. We left after we knew they weren't going to make a comeback. About 6 minutes left, so we get there like no one in the parking garage is leaving. We sprint out, and right when we're doing that, police cut off our road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Like people who did stay were able to go right out, have no issues. We left early to beat the traffic because we had a couple littles. But anyways, watch the final 3 innings and. What a great comeback by the Dodgers, but you can also say an equal amount goes to the meltdown, choke job, however you want to put it, with the Toronto Blue Jays.
It was a really fun game. I was completely wrong. I came in here, I pounded my head on the desk. I said, I don't care who wins the division between the Mariners and the Blue Jays, because the Dodgers are going to walk the dog, and I couldn't have been more wrong. Like, that was an awesome series. I mean, what more could he ask for it to go to Game 7? It was a great game. I think the Blue Jays lost it when they lost the 18-inning marathon that they had. They really needed to win that game. They couldn't put the Dodgers away, and they couldn't put them away in Game 7. They had some opportunities with runners in scoring position. They even had opportunity, I believe, in extra innings with runners in scoring position, right?
Bases loaded.
Bases loaded, right,
in the bottom of the 9th, and then they had a runner on third, one out in the bottom of the 11th.
Right.
Couldn't push across.
They couldn't kill him. They couldn't do it. But hats off to the Dodgers. And, I mean, how about Yamamoto? Did I say that right? Yamamoto. Yeah, that guy's amazing. It reminded me a lot of Madison Bumgarner back with the Giants. He came in a similar role. Like, after he had pitched his heart out for a couple of games, he came in with the relief.
He at least had a day's rest. Yamamoto.
Right. Similar. Right. So Yamamoto's more impressive right there. It was an awesome game to watch. I'm mad that the Dodgers won, but I'm not mad in general. Like, it was a good game.
That was the best Game 7 that I have ever witnessed. I don't know if you can say in the entire history, because I want to say, because my dad talks about how the 91 World Series where the Twins beat the Braves. That had been regarded as
John Smoltz.
That had been regarded as like the best World Series ever up to that point, I think. And I think that one had the Game 7 that people say was like one of the better ones. That's the best one I have witnessed. And you talk about the Blue Jays, they had, I can't tell you how many times they had runners in scoring position. And you talk about this close from actually winning the World Series, because the slight hesitation with, I'm blanking on his name over at second base, where he had to like be on his back foot and just Rojas, because he was the one that had just
talking about the plate.
Talking about the plate.
Will Smith almost brought his foot up. And
well, he did. He brought it up. He put it back down. He put it down. He almost didn't get back down.
When they showed the initial replay, I went, I'm sitting in the back of the car like, his foot's not.
His foot's off.
That's exactly what I said.
His foot's not down.
Foot's up. He's off.
But then, like, once you slowed it down, it's like, man, he beat it by like the nick of time.
It was that close.
Was it the announcers that were saying? I was curious about this in real time, and maybe smarter baseball heads could explain it. But the announcers, I think, were saying he slid because the bat, if the bat was elevated like the other bases, then he could have went in without sliding. It would have been quicker. But because the plate is flat, it's quicker to slide and touch the plate. Did I hear that correctly?
I think so. It makes.
I heard that somewhere. I don't know if it was on TV or if I read it or what. But I was curious. I'm like, sliding would slow you down. Would you not think you want to go straight in at the plate and try to touch the plate?
Well, the thing
you might be afraid you step on his foot.
Yeah, I guess so.
Well,
that's what if I'm running home in that situation, your natural inclination is to slide.
Yeah. Well, think of it this way: what's going to be closer to the plate if you're running? Your feet.
Yeah.
Because if you slide, you're just going like that. So if you dive, you're going to have a little bit of elevation. I think I remember what you're talking about. I can see how it makes a little sense, but
also it's probably easier for the catcher to step on the bag.
It's easy. Yeah, it's easier for the catcher to do that. Yeah,
they're both kind of in that.
They are
same boat.
Yeah. But man, I mean, the Blue Jays. I mean, talk about inches away from winning the World Series because if they score that run, that's ball game.
Well, inches away too. Vladdy got a hold of one and sent it out to center field, and if that was like an inch, up or down the bat, either way.
Also, Clement hits that ball. He sets the record for hits in a postseason. 30. He hits it, and I knew he got under it too much, but it just kept carrying.
Yeah.
Like what did I say about that ballpark?
Ball jumps.
Yeah, which is why they hit a home run in the 8th to make it a 1-run game, tied it in the 9th and won in the 11th because the ball jumps out of that place.
Yeah.
But he hits and it keeps carrying and carrying, and I see Hernandez camping underneath it, and here comes Pegues, and I'm thinking he goes up for it, and I'm screaming in the back of the car. Again, I've got sleeping babies, a sleeping 12-year-old to my left, and I go, oh my gosh, he's going to run into him. He does. He still makes
the catch.
Do you think Hernandez catches that? Like Basket catches that?
No. Well, he was camped underneath it like this. So
I thought he was trying. I'm thinking about a different play then.
I thought that he was still going back, and I thought he was about to turn. I don't think he would have.
I think he knew the wall was there, which he's slow, but I think he would have made the catch if Pegues wasn't.
It's possible.
Barreling, but it just because he when he hits him, he hit him a good second and a half before he caught the ball.
Yes.
So that's why I think Hernandez. It's just you want to say lack of communication, but also like that place was probably super loud.
Oh yes, and
You're
that was
running back knowing it's 2 outs, bases loaded, bottom of the ninth.
Yeah.
Probably in your mind, like is Bryant's pulling up the final.
I'm trying to watch the play. I'm trying to watch the play. It's
I thought
4-4, bottom of the ninth, 2 outs, bases are loaded, and I can't tell who that is up to the plate. Who hit Clement? Right. Yeah. So the ball hits left center field. Yeah, Hernandez is he's slowing down, but he's turned away from the ball.
Yeah.
He's about to try to make a basket catch. Yeah. I don't know if he would make that.
I don't know if he would either.
I think he would have. He's a really good outfielder. Good. Like he slowed down, like he knew he was going to make that catch. But then Pegues just runs him over like a safety in the back of the end zone.
But man, I mean there's literally 2 storylines with this. One, obviously, the Dodgers going back-to-back, first time since was it the Yankees went 3-peat.
Yeah.
And the other storyline is how many opportunities the Blue Jays had to win that game, and they just could not come through.
You can also bring up the 11th. They pitch run for Bichette in the 9th, and then Vladdy leads off the 11th with that double down the line, and then that would have been Bichette, but it's Kiner Falefa, and he bunts.
He bunts.
Okay, it was a good bunt, and
it was
him the third, and then I had Barger and Kirk right behind. Barger walked, then you had Kirk and Varsho back there. No, wait a minute, it was Barger and Kirk because Kirk got into the double play.
Yeah, he was the last out.
But
I mean, you go back and you look why they took him out. I understand why they took him out because you wanted more speed on the bases and had that opportunity to win at that point. So I get the need to, hey, this is our moment. We need to get this done.
Yeah.
But yes, you go back and you go into the 11th, and now, unfortunately, that decision might have hurt you in that situation.
And then you look at what the Dodgers did in that game. The first 2 runs are sacrifice flies, good situational hitting.
Yep.
And then Muncy, who had a great game, stepped up big there. He's 3 for 4.
That was a monster home run.
He hits that home run. Then Rojas, who has been, you ask most Dodger fans, they see him up there, they think automatic out. He hits the tying home run in the 9th. Then Smith, your stars came out.
Yeah, they did.
And then you needed some other guy. Hernandez, who hit the first sacrifice fly, he was horrible in this series. But he at least comes through. It's almost like this mix of small ball and then let your stars go out and swing for the fences.
Yep.
And my gosh, everybody emptied. Snell was awful again, which there's no.
Yep.
And then Yamamoto's got to come in and spell him off a little bit. But man, that was a. The Blue Jays used a ton of guys. You feel bad for Bieber in that situation.
Yep.
Pitches 1 inning, 1 bad pitch, and boom, it's over the fence.
Yep.
Shohei almost got the loss there too.
Yeah.
He gave
He did
up
almost,
the 3 runs in the third, and they
That
pulled
three-
him
three run-
after that,
Yeah, it
right?
was after
Yes.
the 3-run
Yeah.
Bichette bomb.
Yeah, right. So
Did you hear the comment that Yamamoto made during the post game with all the Fox guys?
No.
So obviously they has his translator there, and they were asking him, "Is like, hey, if you needed to go back, let's say that this wasn't Game 7, like you got another game after this, would you be able to do it again?" And they asked him that question, and his response was, he told Dave Roberts, he was like, "Honestly, I didn't think that you were going to make me pitch today. I didn't think I was pitching today."
Yeah, I always remember Game 7 for the Cubs, that the entire pitching staff was in the bullpen for that game.
Yeah.
Jake
Yeah.
Arrieta, who threw into the 7th in Game 6,
Yep.
was out there. John Lackey was out there.
Yep.
I knew they threw less.
is that against the Royals?
Indians? Oh, sorry, the Guardians.
Cleveland.
It was Indians at that
Sorry,
point.
sorry.
It was.
That's
It
right.
was.
I remember that now.
That was another great Game 7.
That's
That was one of the-
2016?
Yeah,
Yeah.
2016. That's one where a team blew a lead, a big lead.
Yes.
But eventually won it. That was a great. You have a lot of people say the 1960 World Series between the Yankees and the Pirates, because they say the series was awful. It was 3 blowouts in one direction, 3 blowouts in the other direction. But Game 7, they've literally were trading big punch after big punch before Mazeroski hits the walk-off home run there in Pittsburgh. But there's that one. There's 91, which is a great Game 7. 2016, the wild swings in that game in Game 7. Questionable coaching calls on both sides there in Game 7. Then Saturday.
Well, that's where in my mind, obviously, I haven't even watched the entirety of the 91 Game 7. I just heard things, but the one that I remembered up until this point was the one with the Cubs and the Indians.
Yeah.
And up until that point, that was the best Game 7 I have ever witnessed. I want to say that this one, it's close. I think it takes it a little bit because, I think about how the series went up until that point and how you had an 18-inning affair. Literally, you played 2 games. You could technically say that this was Game 8 that they played on Saturday, and I just the way that the Blue Jays felt like they were rolling. They had the Dodgers number. Yes, the Dodgers started coming back, but you still felt like they had momentum, and then it just switched just like that.
And that's devastating because you think about Canadian history. They haven't had a championship in a marriage
Since '93, I think.
93 when Montreal beat Wayne Gretzky, and they've been close. The Flames, the Canucks, those teams have been in the Stanley Cup Finals.
We'll say Toronto, they
hasn't won a cup since 1968.
They won NBA championship a few years ago, 2019.
That's basketball.
It's still something.
For the Canadians, there's a big love for baseball up there in Canada, which is why they want Montreal to get another.
We need the Expos back.
Yeah,
it's the same. We need the Supersonics back in Seattle, and we need the Expos back in Montreal.
And they need to build them a ballpark. Would it be great to have a major league team here in Nashville? Yes. How well it would do, I don't know. I really don't know. And where do you put the ballpark? Do you just tear down what you got now?
You have to rebuild or something,
or do something like that. But Montreal wants a bad, so I wouldn't have a problem with it. I just think there's just too many cross.
What was the reasoning for them to move to Washington?
I haven't gotten through the next Netflix documentary. I'm working on that. There's some untrustworthy sources there, but from what I've gathered, there's been one financial misstep after another. Because remember, baseball had to take over the team when they moved.
That's right.
To Washington. They didn't have an owner when they moved to D.C.
Yeah, the owner was the major leagues.
Yeah, so I need to get through it. I haven't got a chance to get through it yet. A lot going on. Well, coming up next, guys, we will take a look at week number 10, college football. That will be when we return here on Exports Today.
Since opening our doors in 1904, Built-Well Bank has existed to be the local economic engine for the communities we serve. No matter if you're buying a car, saving for retirement, or finally buying that forever home, Built-Well Bank is here to help. From personal checking and savings accounts to a full suite of business and commercial banking with treasury management services, we'll make sure you'll have a dedicated Built-Well banker that understands your unique needs and stands by you every step of the way. No matter where you are in Tennessee or Northwest Georgia, there's likely a Built-Well Bank location nearby. Come see us and let our dedicated financial team help you with all of your banking needs. Member FDIC.
Fast, friendly, and reliable service is our promise to you because you're not just a customer, you're family. From multi-use linen to branded floor coverings and a complete range of cleaning supplies, C&B Linen is here to make sure you have everything you need. From our high-quality products to our fast, friendly, and reliable service, you'll experience the difference with C&B Linen because you're not just a client, you're part of our family. You'll be winning with C&B Linen.
Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma. Got a dent, a ding, a scratch, or a bent fender? Major or minor, Car Country Collision Center in Leoma can fix you up. Car Country works with all insurance carriers, gives free estimates, can work on foreign and domestic vehicles, and has experience you can trust. They've been in business since 1990. Unfortunately, accidents happen, but you can get your car back on the road with as little hassle as possible with the help of Car Country. Call 931-852-4708 or stop by at 2567 Highway 43 South in Leoma.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
And welcome back, everybody, to X Sports Today. AJ Gobble, Bryant, Gobble, and Taylor Plott. Guys, we go to week number 10 in college football. It was a bad week to be anywhere near the top 10.
Yes.
This week, 3 top 10s go down, I believe, off the top of my head. Got Miami losing their game. Oop, I clicked on the wrong football. My bad. We had Miami going down to SMU.
Georgia Tech lost.
Georgia Tech lost. Vandy, that's right. Georgia Tech, Miami, and Vandy all losing. So even though Vandy lost to a top 25 team, and then Tennessee was right on the outside of the top 10, and they fall to Oklahoma. So it's one of those kind of people going, well, it's not a real sexy week. I don't know. I don't know if I can get into this. And then next thing you know, it's one upset after another, and one team after another getting exposed. So it was another and then a lot of teams. Georgia had the have a big one late there against Florida.
Florida had that.
To win that game. Notre Dame did not look impressive at all at Boston College. Louisville was down at halftime to Virginia Tech. Michigan looked awful against Purdue. Had to score one late there to make that, interesting. So
Nebraska fell out of the rankings after losing USC.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if you mentioned that.
Not yet.
Okay.
And they lost their court starting. Raiola got hurt, and then Maivia was 9 of 23 for 135 yards and an interception in that game. They still win 21-17. So a wild, pretty interesting week in college football.
Yeah. It was fun. College football is so volatile, and that's what still separates the sport from the NFL, despite all the drama that you have and all of the bad regulations and lack of rules with the portal and with NIL and all that. Yeah. College football is still college football.
Yeah,
like any given week, it can just be madness like this. I don't really know what the highlight of the week is. As a Tennessee fan, I'm trying to get over Oklahoma. And, I mean, you were there. You can give us your insight to what happened in the stadium. I'm really kind of happy Vanderbilt lost. They were who they thought they were. Mm-hmm. I've been saying for 3 weeks now that Hugh Freeze was fired, and sure enough, now he's gone, right? Florida, Georgia. How about Georgia? Like, to me, they're just sneaky. Yeah. Like, they keep getting by with these one-score close games, and they did it again.
Come from behind.
They did it again. Man, they're good. Texas Tech is still really good.
Indiana is who?
Indiana is, they are who everyone thinks they are.
Ole Miss let South Carolina play around for a little bit, then they dominate in the second half.
Really disappointed in Georgia Tech, man. I was hoping.
I was too. But you think about this: the top two teams in the ACC, Georgia Tech and Virginia,
both lose.
Both lost to NC State at NC State. Yep. I said it last week, guys. You don't want to go to Carter Finley Stadium.
You don't just roll the ball out against the Wolfpack and expect to win. All right?
No, not at Carter Finley Stadium.
Come on.
There's just something about that team. So you look at the ACC guys. There's a log jam at the top. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 teams at 4-1 or better. Virginia's at the top. They're 5-0 in the conference. Remember, the loss to NC State was not a conference game.
Yep.
Still wild to me that they can allow that. But you got Duke, SMU, Louisville, Pittsburgh, Georgia Tech, and Virginia. You could, I don't know how all that's going to shape up, but I think someone said the way the schedules break out, if everyone wins out and someone beats Virginia at some point, there could be 4 teams, a 4-way tie for the top spot in that league. And then how do you determine who plays for the championship?
You would have to go
coin flip.
Coin flip, really.
Friday Night Lights, the movie, and go to a random gas station, just flip a coin and decide who gets to go.
Are you sure that's heads or tails?
This looks a little worn.
It's tails. I would have I would have dropped the quarter. It's heads.
Yeah.
I'm talking about.
Slippery fingers.
It's heads.
I mean, you could literally be looking at an ACC that only gets one playoff team in.
Yeah.
And it's whoever wins the conference.
Right.
I mean, you would have, now entering the season, yes, you felt like Miami was going to be up there. Right. Obviously, it was who are they going to lose to, because at some point they're going to stumble. But you felt like at least Miami would be representing the ACC.
Yeah.
And as the season went on, all of a sudden, here comes Georgia Tech, and you thought, okay, well, maybe they get 2, Georgia Tech and Miami. And now we're back to it's probably just 1.
Or 0. Like, what happens if, SMU, wins out right here?
Well, they have automatic.
It's automatic bid. Okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
that was very.
They would have to get.
Forget us.
Now
that was bad of me.
Now the flip side of that would be that if that were to happen, they could get the auto bid at the 12 spot, depending on if
Which is what happened to Clemson.
Was happened to Clemson because Boise State was up there in the top 4,
right.
And they were the so-called the
group of 5.
The group of 5
That's
bid.
Right.
So it's possible SMU could, if they did that, they could sneak in for the 12.
So last year, the first year they did the auto bids, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then you look at the Big 12 picture, it gets a little bit better, but you got Texas Tech at BYU next week, which game day is going to be there. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Big 12, at best, is going to be a 2-big league, because that league got a little bit clearer this weekend with Utah dominating Cincinnati. And then, my boys are not the worst team in the Big 12. Going on the road, dominating the Cougars in Houston.
I saw that score. My first thought is AJ's happy.
Oh, everyone in Knoxville heard me so happy. It's funny. Mike texts me. He goes, "The West Virginia's 2-0 in games where I'm in Knoxville watching."
Okay.
So
keep going.
Yeah,
Okay.
but Tennessee's lost both times. But I'm not going to say that out loud. Or that I win in person. They won the other. We
Just
watched
where's your heart at? Is it in West Virginia? If it is, keep going to
It's
Knoxville.
always in West Virginia.
And keep going to Knoxville.
So I'm actually having to recap where they've been. Okay, I was there. I was in Knoxville for the Bama game this past year, so they lost. That was 2 weeks ago, right? At the Bama. Okay, so Tennessee is. Oh crap! They're 0-3 in games when I'm in Knoxville. That's not good, guys.
That's not good.
It depends on what you. If West Virginia wins and you're there and you're a West Virginia man, keep going.
I know. I was watching it, but like you watch the game. I know most of y'all don't care about the West Virginia analysis, but I watch it. But like guys, they ran the ball all over them.
Yeah.
Had some success in the air and forced 4 turnovers. And this is the big thing I'm going to get at with all of these upset games. West Virginia got 17 points off 3 turnovers. The other one, they ran out the clock.
Yeah.
They got it. It hit some guys. It was a punt, and it hit a guy in the heels. They recovered it and ran out the clock. Like that's And then Oklahoma. Yeah, we'll just go ahead and get into that game. Oklahoma, what? Didn't they get 17 points or 13 points off turnovers?
Something like that.
They pretty much took advantage of every Tennessee mistake. And when you're looking at a 6-point game, it's huge.
Yeah.
Miami made bad turnovers. SMU took advantage of that. Yeah. Georgia Tech, bad mistakes. NC State took advantage of Vandy. Awful start. Drop balls, bad penalties.
Yeah.
Every time they get a big play, there was a holding or a block in the back or a chop block. And all of these teams took advantage of that. And if you're Vandy and you're losing by 3, you're NC State. I'm trying to find the score here, how much they lost by. If you're NC State, you lose by 12. You're Houston, you lose by 10. You're Tennessee, you lose by 6. And you're looking at points off turnovers or points off mistakes. It's the margin of error in this day and age in college football is so slim.
Yep.
And if you can give a 2-6 West Virginia team that doesn't have a win in the Big 12, you give them that little bit of a cushion and you can't stop them on defense, you're done for.
To me, why I think Georgia's record is so impressive because they keep finding ways to win these close games.
Yeah. I mean except for the Alabama game, it's only because Alabama I don't want to say they spotted out, but Alabama jumped out on them.
Yeah.
And their defense shut them down when they needed to. They just created enough separation before the comeback.
Yes.
Which is good on Bama for doing that. And being at the Tennessee game, like they could not run the ball, and being where our seats are, it's almost like I have the perfect all 22 view because I see everything.
Yeah.
I really don't know who Joey Aguilar was throwing to. I really don't know because you can see the look. You saw the 2. They had points in that game, 3 safeties. Out there, and they were begging, "You're going to throw everything in front of us," and they did. That first touchdown drive, once they figured out the look, how many times they hit guys for 15, 20 yards over the middle, wide open, and then Oklahoma makes some adjustments. Joey doesn't make the adjustments with them. The crossing routes were there. I love the running back dump offs because that was a good 8-9 yards every time, and I guess I don't know if it's a Joey problem or a Heupel system problem, but it's like they have to throw a ball at some point in every drive 30 yards downfield sometimes. And remember, Aguilar led NCAA in interceptions last year.
Yeah, he did.
And I went back for giggles, not really giggles, because I can't say the first part of it here.
Crap and giggles.
Craps and giggles. When App State played one of my teams, Marshall, last year, he did the same stuff.
Yeah.
He just throwing deep balls, and they picked them off a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that. You just can't. There's just no margin for error, no matter who you're playing.
There's no margin for error, especially with this Oklahoma team, because this Oklahoma team is different than the previous ones. And I made the comment earlier in this season that Oklahoma has continually gotten better over the course of the past couple of years. And I felt like this was the first team that they actually had where I felt like, no, I'm not saying that they are absolutely perfect and the best team, but this was the best product that they have been able to put onto the field and actually perform up to somewhat their expectations going into this year. you can't do that if you're Tennessee against this Oklahoma team. You probably could have gotten away from it last year and the year before. Mm-hmm. You can't get away from it in this year with Oklahoma, even at home. And Oklahoma proved that. They took advantage of it, and they scored. And what was the final? 33-27. Yeah. And, I mean, you look at that score, and it's like, okay, well, that's not, a huge blowout win, but you felt like Oklahoma really, really just took over that game. Yeah. And, I mean, Tennessee's not a bad team. These were both good, quality, solid SEC teams, but it just goes to show you, like what you said, if you shoot yourself in the foot and you make mistakes, the other team, they take advantage of it, you're pretty much screwed at that point.
I want to know what your perception was. I think, from my perspective, you're right. We gave up 10, 17 points off of turnovers, something like that. We gave the offense a short field. Yeah. I think the offense was the problem to me. Like I think, and I think that's what you were saying, right? Yeah. Aguilar just looked making really bad decisions. As much as they did pass the ball, they also ran the ball like 30 times for only 60-something yards. Right. Like, that's not good efficiency. Right. Why are you continue to run into a brick wall if it's not there? I didn't like the play calling. I didn't like Joey's decisions. Yeah. It seemed like problem after problem was just compounded. And the good news, what I've kind of been talking about, we didn't have as many penalties, 3 penalties for 25 yards. Bad news, 3 turnovers, 2 bad interceptions, just bad decisions. Special teams really didn't show up for us. Gilbert missed another field goal. And
that turned the tide.
Yeah, it did.
It kind of took some of the air out of the building at that point. But like you said, Brian, defense wasn't the issue. Decent defense was getting stops. They were putting Mateer on the ground. Yeah, he's going to get some because of his legs. He's going to make some plays. But the interceptions, they're basically punts because they got great return. Remember the fumble?
Yes.
Scoop and score, and then all the rest of the interceptions, they ran it back a very long ways. And the way, the kicker hits 3 50-plus yard field goals, every single one of them, I'm like, that's short because they got in the air. I'm like, the wind's killing it and just landing right over top every time. Yeah. So
after they scored after turnovers and Tennessee didn't. Tennessee would get a turn. I think
that's been a problem.
It's been a problem all year. Yeah. Not taking advantage after turnovers.
Yeah. And you think with that that's the thing that compounds me about that system and that offense. You would think the last thing you want to do is turn the ball over, give it over to a creative offensive mind, and they just do not.
Yeah, hasn't been good.
I don't get it. It's like they get ultra conservative, like, we at least got to get some sort of points. Like, no, like they know how to put the foot on your neck. They just don't know how to break the neck.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And a lot of people today and yesterday have been trying to adjust the expectations. They're trying to go back to the preseason. In the preseason, 30,000-foot view, if you're looking, you're like, okay, you lost your quarterback after the spring. You had unproven receiving core coming into the season. People weren't really sure what the defense was going to look like after, Jamar McCoy is going to be out. Ricky Gibson got hurt after the first game. So a lot of people were predicting what happened right now. Yeah. But I also think it's fair that our expectations shifted, and I don't think that should let Josh Heupel off the hook for some of those things. I'm not calling for him to be fired like some idiots are doing, but I do think he deserves some accountability here because 100%. This was a no-show game. It was just embarrassing with missteps all over the field. You can't point to one specific thing that lost you the game. It was a multitude of mistakes and bad offensive play.
And it's the same thing that happened with Vandy. I mean, we mentioned it. How many drop passes? Yeah. Defense was non-existent. Texas moved the ball up and down the field on them. But it seemed like every time they got a big play, penalty. Now, second half, fourth quarters especially, and it felt like if they did get that onside kick, not only were they going to score, I think they were going to win. The way they were going, and Texas had no answer for it. I thought we were going to see one of the greatest comebacks you've ever seen in college football.
Yeah,
but just too little, too late, and you cannot do those sort of things when you're playing the level of competition you got to play week in and week out.
On the road.
Yeah, on the road. Yeah, Pavia's numbers look great, but you got to think the bulk of that came in the fourth quarter.
The bulk of it did. Yeah. Real quick comment on what you said with the expectations. I feel the same way. If you have your preseason expectations, and obviously if it goes along with those preseason expectations, so be it. But if you find out along the way, hey, we are better than we were anticipated to be, and you've proven that week in and week out, and all of a sudden you start having issues, you don't need to go back to those preseason expectations. It's like, hey, we know that we are better than this.
It's just an excuse at that point.
Yeah,
I mean,
and I get that.
And I guess both can be true, but
and I think I put a Heupel and going kind of switching over to Miami. It's Miami, my gosh, defense. God bless them that they only gave up 26 points because they were on the field most of the afternoon.
Yeah.
Like Carson Beck became Carson Beck again, which is disappointing for a lot of reasons. But on top of that, Mario Cristobal at Miami, his win percentage in November and December
is horrible.
Is it bad?
It's like 286.
Yeah,
like he has almost an 800 winning percentage in August through October.
Yeah,
but once he gets to November, it's you can't. Okay, remember, James Franklin's been winning 10 games a year. One bad year gets fired.
Yeah.
You look at all across college football right now. A lot of really good, successful coaches are getting fired. Cristobal, people are asking for his head. They're asking for Heupel's head. At some point, you got to ask yourself, are we okay with, if you're that program, are you okay with, all right, we'll win 10 games a year. We'll get into the playoffs, probably lose in the first round, but we're never going to beat anybody of significance or note, especially on the road. When is that good enough and when is it not good enough? Because Penn State fans put up with it for a while. Miami fans are losing their patience, and it's starting to sound like Tennessee fans are losing their patience.
The thing that was brought up, this was for most Bama games during the year. We have we get together with my parents and we get people over and we watch the game. And we had a discussion during one of the half times. This was a few years ago about James Franklin and how Penn State feels like they are content with going 10-2 each year, maybe 11-1 with that one loss being Ohio State, and that was good for them because they were content with that. They like Franklin. He's a great guy, which he is. Right. Great coach. Players love him. Fans love him. He's a great guy. And then the conversation was, well, put him in the SEC. Put him at an Alabama. Put him at a Georgia. Put him at a Tennessee. Put him in the SEC. And you start looking at that 10-2 record is probably not 10-2 anymore. It's probably 8-4 or 9-3.
Yeah.
And if you do that in the SEC, especially one of the powerhouses, that's going to start becoming an issue, and he would not have survived the longest time like he did at Penn State. And I feel like we're getting into a very messy situation because I've always been a firm believer that if you fire a coach and you give a new coach a chance, you need to let him get his own players, get his own system, make sure he builds that culture that he wants to build. You got to give him 3, 4, maybe 5 years. I think they gave Hugh Freeze... Was it 5? 3?
No, it wasn't 5.
It was 5. Was it 3? 3 or 4?
I think this was Hugh's third season.
I want to say this is his.
Maybe his third.
I want to say that was his third. His third.
Yeah. It's a short time, and I fear that we're getting into the realm, especially with the way the NIL is. NIL has definitely spread out. Third. Okay. Yeah. NIL has definitely spread out the talent to where you have a lot of these other teams. Look at Vanderbilt. Look at Indiana. Look at Georgia Tech. You've got all these teams that you would think more basketball as opposed to football, and look what they're doing. And I feel like people have too short of a fuse. Now, I understand if you're at a powerhouse, let's throw Alabama out. Let's say, obviously, DeBoer had a disappointing year last year. And let's say we're currently looking at an Alabama team that has 3 losses again. And you probably start hearing some grumblings. And if he does it again next year, I don't know if he survives because he's at Alabama.
Right.
Same thing with Georgia. Let's say Kirby ends up having 4 losses this year. Going into next year, same situation. He's probably on the way out going into that third year.
Right.
I fear that the fuses are getting too short on some of these really good coaches.
Yeah.
And yes, you're going to have some down years. Yes, you're going to have some good years. But the question that I always ask is, who can you get that's going to be better?
Yeah,
and the pot is very, very small.
Can I push back on that theory?
Yeah, of course.
Name me a coach that's won a national championship in the past 15 years.
Nick Saban, Kirby Smart.
Okay, Nick Saban.
Okay.
His record first year, remember what it was?
It was 6-6.
6 and 7.
6 and 7.
First year at Alabama, it was 7-6.
Okay.
7-6. You know what he went year 2?
I think it was 11-1.
12-2.
12-2.
You could go to Kirby Smart and his head coaching record.
His first year was 7 and 6, wasn't it?
Yes.
Kirby Smart at Georgia, 8-5.
Okay.
His final record, he won the Liberty Bowl, so it was 7-5 and 8-5. Guess what he went year 2?
Was it 10-2?
13-2.
13-2.
So my pushback is, you see with these, you could do this for Urban Meyer, who won with Ohio State. You could do this with Ryan Day. You could do this with Dabo even.
Yep.
All of these previous coaches that have won national championship in the previous 15 years, Gus Malzahn and Gene Chizik did this as well. They showed rapid improvement within the first 2 years. Within the first 2 years. So if you see that the writing is on the wall pretty quick, I think it was there for Hugh Freeze. I think it's there for a lot of other coaches. If you see that there is no improvement, then I get it. Because these coaches that have won national championships, as I just read, you can go look up any coach that you want. They show immediate improvement. Josh Heupel, same thing. I don't remember what we did in 2021 was his first season, but maybe, in the next year, right? 2022. 10-2, right? That we were happy with that season. So
11-2,
right, 11-2 with fantastic wins all over the board. So some people are impatient. I think it's a little bit of both, though. You also want to see immediate results in the win column, and I think a lot of these athletic departments want to see immediate results, and if they don't get it, then they're cutting the cord.
I completely agree with that. I do. You're going to get coaches that do exactly what they did. And I'm with you. If you find a good coach, that culture, if it's going to be right, is going to be met very quickly, and you're going to see those improvements. And I do think that the coaches that we're talking about, obviously, with Hugh Freeze, that was 3 years, and yes, I feel like you saw the writing on the wall. This was not a good fit. But all the other coaches that you're looking at, I don't think they meet. Obviously, I don't know what Chris Paul did at Miami, but we're talking about 10 years now that have been a lot longer than 3-4 years. I mean, Franklin was there for 10, 12, something like that.
Chris started in 2012.
Cristobal's been at Miami.
2022 was his first
so
season.
That's 3 years since then.
They've been good, but it's down the stretch. Season on the line. I guess the question begs to ask is, have you reached your ceiling with that coach?
And that's what I was going to get at.
That's the Heupel argument. Have we? Not we. I'm not from Tennessee, but has Tennessee hit the ceiling with Heupel?
Yeah.
But it also begs the question with everything that happened in the offseason, the whole Nico thing. You bring in Aguilar, you weren't really sold or confident on your quarterback situation. A lot of people are saying, 9-3, 8-4. Well, you're in line for that. Now, is that kind of where your expectations were, or you saw how well you played against Georgia, beat this team, beat that team, won some games comfortably, that your expectations got a little higher, or is it,
The question that I have, and this is I'll ask you guys this from a Tennessee standpoint, because you make a good point. Is this Heupel's ceiling? Is this Cristobal's ceiling? Was that Franklin's ceiling? And you look at some of these coaches and I feel like you could make it into a different tier, where if you had a Saban, a Kirby Smart, and a Dabo Swinney, those guys, where they're up here, and their ceiling has always been they're a great enough coach that they can will these teams into a different category. I think you honestly saw that with Saban's last year. I felt like, had to almost will that team into getting into the playoff situation. So does it look like this for possibly Tennessee, for Miami, for some of these others, where you have a really good coach, but the only way you're going to reach that so-called extra goal that you want, or that extra ceiling, is if you have the talent that is most abundant over coaching? Is that Heupel? Let's say that Tennessee ends up getting an amazing group of talent next year, goes off, wins a national championship, and then the next few years they're right back to this 8-4, 9-3.
The Gene Chizik
worth it.
effect.
And I can see that it's worth it, but you get what I'm getting at is like, are these coaches up at this? There's that ceiling, but the only way they get above that is if the talent is there.
I would sign up for a national championship right now.
Yeah, most Tennessee fans.
I would. Yeah, I'll be with you.
I do realize earlier I was rattling off different coaches. Gus Malzahn did not win a national championship, but my point was he won 12 games. He got to one, lost Florida State, won 12 games in his first year. So
they had 11 guys out for the kick return.
Yeah.
Only had 10. Yep. You're not going to be able to. It's 11 on 10. At that point. Well, coming up next, guys, we will take a look at week number 9 in the NFL when we return here on X Sports Today.
Hey everyone, this is Landon Saunders.
And this is Nate Patterson with Cloud9 Fiber.
We're excited to finally be able to offer Lawrenceburg our blazing fast, reliable, and affordable fiber internet services.
If you're looking for a more reliable and more affordable provider, we at Cloud9 Fiber have you covered.
Plans start at $50 a month, and we can offer up to a gigabit to your home or business.
We are excited to be able to offer your first month of service entirely free. We encourage you to sign up on cloud9fiber.com or by calling 931-201-9098 so we can help you make the switch today.
For the best meal from south of the border, head to Cocina Real in Puente Grande for lunch and dinner. With a wide array of mouth-watering entrees, there's something for everyone on the menu. And you can't forget the cheese dip. They'll treat you like family, and you'll never leave hungry. Make Cocina Real Mexican Restaurant and Puente Grande Mexican Restaurant your choice for authentic cuisine, located in Lawrenceburg, Tennessee.
Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Welcome to Employee Resources Credit Union, where you're more than just a number, you're family. We provide financial solutions that rise above those of traditional banks. With roots stretching back to 1964, we've served 4 generations during constant industry changes. We're known for our low fees and incredible rates. Join us and experience the credit union difference. ERCU, not for profit, for service.
I'm Mike Keith, and my friends at Elliott Johnson Insurance have a great partner in Auto Owners Insurance. Auto Owners makes it easy to get life, home, car, or business insurance. Let Elliott Johnson Insurance find the Auto Owners policy that makes a difference in your life. Call Elliott Johnson Insurance at one of their 3 locations, Florence, Loretta, and Lawrenceburg. Elliott Johnson Insurance, moving forward for our clients every day.
Comprehensive care with a compassionate touch. That will always be the guarantee at Encompass Healthcare in Etheridge, Tennessee. Whether you're looking for primary or urgent care, x-ray services, or weight loss treatments, the team at Encompass is equipped to serve your needs today. The doors are open Monday through Thursday from 8 to 5 and from 8 to noon on Fridays. Make an appointment with providers Kendra Brown, Tori Cox, or Ellie Brown today. That's Encompass Healthcare, located on Highway 43 North in Etheridge, next door to Chapman Tire.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.
Welcome back to X Sports Today. AJ Goodwood, Taylor Plott, Bryant, Gobble. Guys, let's get into week number 9 of the NFL. Well, another week. Hey, at least the Titans kept it close this time, guys.
Yeah.
They were up. Hey, they were up at the end of the first quarter.
Defense and special teams. It was no thanks to the offense. Offense looked anemic and embarrassing as all year. Yeah.
And it wasn't a good week for home teams. It started Thursday. The Ravens dominate. The Niners win at the Giants. Chicago, what a shootout that they had with the Bengals. The Vikings win in Detroit. The Panthers win at the Packers. The Chargers over the Titans. The Patriots barely overcame a big Falcons comeback there. The Colts lose at the Steelers. Broncos win on the road. The Jaguars win in a crazy game on the road. And then the Seahawks win. I think of all the games, only 3 home teams won all week. I'm looking at Rams, Bills, Steelers, Patriots. So only 4 home teams won this week.
Yeah. I think the game of the week was Bears Bengals. That was
fun.
That was awesome. That was one of those away games that the Bears were the away team, and that should have been the Bengals game, but that. A lot of the Bengals fans have had hope, and I've even had a little bit of hope that, hey, if they would stand the storm, make it to December, and Joe Burrow can come back, then maybe they can make it to the playoff and make some noise. This shows that they can score 42 points with Joe Flacco, and they're still not going to win. So Joe Burrow is not going to make a difference. What were you going to say? He threw for
449 yards, but he did throw 2 interceptions.
He did.
And the Bears have 576 yards of offense. The Bengals 495, but the difference, the Bears threw for 293 and ran for 283. Better balance. The Bengals only had 46 yards rushing on 15 attempts. The Bears ran it 37 times for 283. And threw it 37 times.
Yeah, I think the rookie running back for the Bears had like 175 yards on 25 carry. It was ridiculous. Like this Bengals defense is just not serious, and I'm wondering what the heck the franchise is thinking right now. Are they thinking, gosh, if we could only get Joe Burrow back, or are they actually seeing the proof in the pudding here that they need to improve their defense?
You made the right point, Brian, which is that game probably would have still happened with Joe Burrow. Probably exact same thing would have happened.
And to counter, actually not really counter, but could go along with what you're saying. I mean, if I'm a Bengals fan and you lose Burrow and you're like, oh great, okay, well we need to weather the storm and get to December and let him come back. All right, well let's look at this game and let's say the Bengals won this 42-17. Well, you're thinking at this point, it's like, well, hey, we don't need Joe Burrow. As long as we have Joe Flacco, we're good to go. But you're right.
The older Joe.
But you're right. The defense is a huge problem with this. If Joe Burrow was there, you probably still score 42 points, and you still lose.
So it's they're not addressing. They thought signing Hendrickson, but Hendrickson's aging. It's the rest of the
30.
defense, and they're not addressing it in the draft. They're not addressing it in free agency. They're addressing all their issues on the offensive side of the ball. And in this day and age, and you can't give up 293 on the ground and 283 on the ground, especially when good teams are only averaging $150, and you gave up 283.
When you give up video game numbers, that's an issue.
I think Zach Taylor is also an issue too. I don't think he's a great coach.
He's a good offensive coach. He's not a good defensive coach. And the Detroit one kind of shocked me a bit.
Same.
I thought Minnesota's pretty much down for the count, and they were up 10 late in this game before Detroit made it interesting. But it's just like they jumped out on them there in the second half, put enough distance, and just didn't let Detroit come out and give J.J. McCarthy.
I was about to say,
Carson Wentz might have been a good placeholder, but McCarthy comes in, doesn't, other than the one interception, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, made some really good passes, got everyone involved, and team did what they had to do to win.
And I think that this is more of a J.J. McCarthy and the Minnesota Vikings went out and won that game, as opposed to the Detroit Lions losing it, because this was his third start of the season, and it's been several weeks since he got that opportunity. And he's a really good quarterback, and I feel like the Vikings yes, I do think that he's better as their quarterback, but it seems like they're just a better team, better offense when he is in command back there. And so I do think that this is more about the Minnesota Vikings went out and they won that game with him back at quarterback, and the Detroit Lions just, I don't really think that they just say that they lost it. They obviously did, but I feel like Minnesota just went out and won it.
I guess Minnesota's defense stood up when they needed to. I'm looking at the stats here. JJ, I didn't realize he looked very just kind of average, actually. He completed 14 passes, less than 150 yards, only 143 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 interception. So I guess he made the plays and managed the game like he needed to, but
didn't beat himself.
Didn't beat himself. Man, looking at that, I wouldn't have ever guessed that the Vikings, looking at that stat line, would have lost to, or would have beaten Detroit.
Tells you like what Carson Wentz was doing, which was he was turning the ball over. What they really need is not necessarily a game manager, just a guy that just won't
won't shoot himself in the foot.
Run the offense.
Run the offense. It's a bit shocked, not too much now by Carolina. Green Bay, speaking of shooting themselves in the foot, a couple of turnovers in that game. Green Bay's just turning into one of those teams like, yes, could be great, but you don't know which Jordan Love's going to show up.
Yeah.
The defense keeps you in games, but you don't know what's going to happen with this group week in and week out.
The Panthers are so surprising to me. They're 5-4, is that right?
Yeah, 5-4.
Along with the Kansas City Chiefs, like are all 5-4 teams made equally? Who knows? Actually, I definitely think the Chiefs are better than the Panthers, but I guess this is more. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Is this more an indictment on the Green Bay Packers? They are just up and down at times. I mean, the first game of the season, they came out and absolutely whooped the Detroit Lions. And you thought, man, this could be a Super Bowl team. And now Jordan Love hasn't been playing great. The defense has its ups and downs. Micah Parsons kind of gone missing a little bit. He's not making the big plays when he needs him to. So credit to Carolina.
Well, how many – think about this. How many times have we had that conversation or thought about that about Green Bay? Where you start off the year and it's like, okay, well, this might be the Super Bowl team for, and all of a sudden we get to this week 9, week 10, week 11, and you're just like, okay, well, maybe we need to rethink those things. I do feel like Green Bay is probably one of, when you look at them from a player talent standpoint, I do feel like they are up there in like the top 3.
Yeah, should be better than what they are.
Yeah, should be better than what they are. Top 3 in the NFL, but they just start to level off and kind of go down below what they should be. And you're right. I mean, it's week in, week out now. It's like, well, which Green Bay team are you going to get? Or get the one that's going to go out and score 40 points? Or you're going to get the one that only scores 17 points and loses?
I just don't know. And give the Bills credit. Josh Allen, good win there. I know it looks a little bit closer than what it should be, but
I thought we were about to have deja vu with them getting the ball back with like 30 seconds left.
Yeah, a little deja vu, but they kind of shut the door there, so they're sitting there at 6-2. They're still just a little bit behind Buffalo. Not Buffalo, but New England just keeps winning games, and with how weak their schedule is, they're going to keep winning games unless some injuries happen. But they figured some things out. And how about Seattle and Sam Darnold? I think Sam Darnold throws 4 touchdowns. I know Washington isn't what they used to be, and they're in that sophomore slump. But this, 24 points in the second quarter. Darnold throws for 330 and 4 touchdowns. I mean, he's coming alive ever since he got out of New York.
He has. He's looked really good. It's a shock to me. I saw him prove it last year with the Vikings, and I was confident that he was going to be good coming to the Seahawks. I didn't think he was going to be this good. I mean, I didn't think the Seahawks were going to be this good, but he has a lot of weapons like Jackson Smith and Jigba's great. Torrey Horton's been a great draft pick, and they have Kenneth Walker and Jack Charbonnet who are great in the backfield. So that is a good offense complemented by what I think is a great defense. The Seahawks. And their head coach, his name slips my mind. I can't think of what his name is, but he's been really good. This is his second year, and he's coached the guys up well. I didn't think the Seahawks were going to recover well after Pete Carroll left, but yeah, they're taking advantage. They're not making a lot of mistakes. Darnold's not turning the ball over. He's not. They're not throwing it as much as the Bengals are, but he's making the most of his offensive possessions. He's not throwing the ball away. He's scoring touchdowns. Threw 4 touchdown passes in the first half last night. The Seahawks are a fun team to watch. I can't hate on them. Mike McDonald. That's right. Yep.
Broncos score 11 in the fourth, come from behind, and kind of stop some of Houston's momentum there. I will say a fun game to watch only because it was on, and I was in Buffalo Wild Wings coming back from Knoxville. Fun story. My 10-month-old daughter was locked in on this game, and someone tried to change it over to the Chiefs and Bills, and she threw a
oh my gosh,
excuse me, what are you doing?
And like everyone was around, I'm like, guys, like Bills Chiefs are on like every TV except for this one. This kid's locked in on it, just change it over, and they happily did. So this was 9-6 going into the fourth quarter, and then overtime was just nuts. Jaguars now 5-3, 2-1 on the road. Not a bad record there, but Colts lose to Steelers. You don't know which team you're going to get. Daniel Jones threw 50 times.
Yeah, he went back to old game. New York Giants. Daniel Jones.
He did there. So I think just when you think we're getting some answers from some teams and just more confusion from others, it kind of feels very college football-esque.
The Steelers Colts. Yeah. I was watching Sunday NFL Countdown, and is it Teddy Bruschi? That's
on Countdown, yeah.
And they were kind of hammering him a little bit with Greeny, saying that, hey, are you still like not on board with this Colts? Because they're all like, oh, well, the Colts are amazing and everything. And he said word for word, he said, I know that they're doing great right now. I know that they're winning games. He said, but look at the teams that they're playing against. And Daniel Jones has still not proven to me that he can be the quarterback that they need to have. Right. And he basically went out and said that if he doesn't win this game, that just proves his point with how Daniel Jones still has issues, and he can't get them to the next level until he fixes those issues. And look what happened. They faced a Steelers team that's probably the best team that they faced so far this year, and Daniel Jones looked like the old Daniel Jones. Yeah. So I'm just sitting back, I'm like, well, he's right. Everybody else was calling him out on it, and he was like, nope, standing my ground, I'm saying this, and that's true.
Today's day and age, it's hard to find consistent quarterback play, and he had been fine up to that point.
He had been. He hadn't been playing bad, but the competition he hadn't played yet.
Yeah.
Well, it's also Jonathan Taylor didn't have a great day yesterday either, and that was part of the game plan by the Steelers is to stop Taylor, make Daniel Jones beat you, and that's why they threw it 50 times.
50 times.
And he's not going to be that quarterback.
That's not a good sign. No. Guys, quickly before we head on in, let's take a look at the Week 10 slate. Of games. So it's Vegas at Denver's Thursday, Atlanta at Indianapolis, Giants at the Bears, Bills at the Dolphins, Baltimore at Minnesota, Browns at the Jets, Patriots at the Buccaneers, Saints at the Panthers, Jaguars at Houston, Arizona at Seattle, Rams at San Francisco, Lions at the Commanders, Steelers at the Chargers, Philly at Green Bay. What do you think is the cheapest game to get into this week? We have a tie, and this is actually, for now, as of Monday, one of the more expensive weeks to get into.
Interesting.
Browns Jets.
That's one of
the Sadness Bowl. Okay.
That's one of
the Sadness Bowl. Yeah.
At $45. So there's one other at $45.
Is it Saints Panthers?
No. Okay. That's actually 60. That's the second or third cheapest, however you want to look at it.
Bills at Dolphins.
Bills at Dolphins is actually $119. Seen a lot of
those Miami games are like always sneaky. I'm like, man, they're a terrible team,
Depends
but
on who they're playing.
Yeah, I guess so.
Jags and Texans.
You got it.
Okay,
both of them $45. Again, that's of now.
Right.
So we still have plenty of time for those prices to go down, or maybe one of these teams plays.
Does it?
Because like the Steelers at the Chargers is $189. That's Steelers. So people are going to jack up the prices for that. A lot of the money teams are on the road, like the Patriots and the Lions and the Raiders and the Eagles. The Eagles are at Green Bay, which that was going to be the most expensive one anyway.
Let me ask this: how much is the London game? Does it show you that?
$210. That's been consistent. Too.
I was just curious how much that was.
Yeah.
I say the London game. It's the Berlin game.
Yeah. The Berlin.
Hey, we went the whole show without mentioning Cam Little and a 68-yard field goal. Like, and it would have been good from 71.
He had a few more yards on it.
That thing, man.
Heck, I mean, I guarantee he's getting the piss test today.
Well, so I don't know.
We got to check.
Yeah. I don't know if this is true or not because it could have easily been AI generated because the AI stuff has gotten so out of hand lately. But I did see a form that had Cam Little's name and the date, and it was a PED test.
Yeah.
That tends to happen. McAfee's talked about it, but I know a lot of people within the NFL, like anytime a kicker or a punter hits like a 70, 80-yard punt,
he's got to be on something.
They're taking a piss test the next morning. Like, how random.
Excuse me, sir, we just need a sample here.
Yeah, some of it's random, some of it's
he's coming off the field. It's like, hey, we need you to go over here to the bathroom, please.
Just go to the bathroom.
Just go to the bathroom right now.
Just go to the bathroom.
Well, tomorrow, guys, we'll have Exports Live. Michael Marks will join the crew here. We got some Keep 'em and Dump 'ems coming up. That will be tomorrow. So for Bryant, Taylor, I'm AJ. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 1:30.
Going the distance with local sports. This is the X Sports Network.